Now, the UK is sweltering under a heat wave, and the extreme weather is already causing chaos, bringing thunderstorms and floods to London and the southwest, hundreds of school closures and major disruption on the trains. So much so that Network Rail is advising people to only travel if absolutely necessary tomorrow and Thursday. There's already been widespread cancellations on the rail network. These are some of the operators affected. But why can't trains run in the heat? 36 degrees is your key temperature. Network Rail say if that's forecast, trains are subject to speed restrictions because rails are at risk of buckling and overhead wires could start sagging. So how hot could it get this week? The highest June temperature on record was 35.6 degrees, hitting both 1957 and 1976. The Met Office says temperatures are expected to climb to at least 39 degrees as the heat wave peaks on Thursday this week and could go higher still in some areas. We may be in or around the highest ever temperature recorded in the UK this week. That was 40.3 degrees in Lincolnshire back on July 19th, 2022. No wonder there's a rare red extreme heat warning tomorrow and Thursday across a swathe of southern England and Wales from London to Swansea, meaning a danger to life, as well as an amber warning for much of England and Wales. It's been caused this by warm air drawn up from North Africa. There we go. And red alerts have also been issued as a result in Italy, Spain and France. And France has seen its hottest ever day recorded today. Here, people have been warned not to cool off in rivers and reservoirs. Our reporter, Zara Wassami, has been to an open water swimming club in Worcestershire.
Who could resist a dip on a day like this? It's 11 a.m. and it's 32 degrees in Bishampton in Worcestershire, and they're ready to go in.
It's absolutely amazing. The buzz that you get, the water is really, really warm. It's like a warm bath, but it's absolutely amazing to be out in nature.
You can just get in a rhythm and just keep swimming. It's good, but people do need to be safe.
They're enjoying every splash and stroke in this 11-acre lake, but open water swimming comes with the risks.
We have a natural desire to bathe, to swim, particularly when it's hot. You know, it's a great way to cool off.
In May alone, during a record-breaking heat wave, 17 people died after getting into trouble in water, and the most vulnerable are children.
More than 80% of children who drown did so in the absence of adult supervision, so there was no adult there, whether that's a parent, a teacher or a lifeguard. So that's why these holiday periods are particularly risky for drowning, because the kids aren't supervised, particularly older children, and they're out about with their friends, potentially engaging in risky behaviours.
This open water swimming session is supervised by lifeguards, and it's run by Water's Edge, a local wellness hub. As the temperature goes up, so does the risk of drowning. They want to make sure swimmers at all levels can enjoy the water safely.
If you do end up in water and you're not expecting it, it can be a shock. Yeah. And so you need to be trained to know what to do.
And how do they float as well?
So to float, you go on your back, float on your back. You can go into a star shape, so you make yourself as surface area as wide as possible, and push up with your tummy so that then you're floating on the surface of the water.
And if the heat wasn't enough, thunderstorms caused heavy flooding in London. In Bristol, a lightning strike set this house on fire last night. The Met Office has issued a rare extreme heat warning this week. Temperatures in South and Central England and much of Wales could reach nearly 40 degrees. And the heat wave is spread across Europe. France reached a record-breaking 44 degrees, where 40 people have drowned in the last week as they tried to cool down from the heat. The Met Office has issued both amber and red alerts this week, as this 4-day heat wave could break the hottest day in June record. Although it wasn't broken today, the risk to public health remains high, especially for the elderly and vulnerable. And officials also warn that even young, healthy people can suffer from heat exhaustion and sunstroke. On days like this, the Bishampton swimmers have found the ideal way to cool down.
It's a stress relief thing for me, actually. It's almost like a meditative thing, because I'm trying to stay afloat. And watching nature and just chilling out. Basically, I can't be panicking or worrying about anything else that goes on in my real life.
But the heat has already caused major disruptions. Hundreds of schools in England and Wales have been forced to close. Climate experts are warning these soaring temperatures could be our new normal in a few decades, and we all may have to reconsider how we live.
Well, joining me now is Lucelia Rodriguez, who's a professor of sustainable and resilient cities at the University of Nottingham. Professor, much of the UK seems neither sustainable nor really resilient today.
Certainly not today. It's very hot. I'm in London and I'm sweltering here.
Right, OK, so what are we getting wrong? Why are the trains not running? Why are schools closing?
We don't design our cities and our buildings in the UK for the heat. The buildings are designed to keep the heat in the first place because we always had more a need for heating than cooling. And we're still designing with weather climate from the past. We're not designing for the future. Now, we're experiencing more and more heat waves, and although this weather pattern is unusual, is the actual heat wave and experience of extreme climate is not. We had this for 7 years in the last 12 years.
But we still need to get from A to B. People still need to get to work, they still need to travel, they still need to get on the train in this weather, and it's only going to get worse. What can we do about it at this point? And we've got the train tracks that we've got.
Yes, I think there's very little to do with infrastructure that is not really fully changing it because the UK infrastructure is not designed for it. So the train lines will have to stop and slow down because the friction of the planes, the trains are making hotter, more problematic. The roads are not designed for it either. So I think there's very little we can do with that now without really significantly changing infrastructure. And we also have got problems with things like the electrical grid because we don't expect to add air conditioning to the problem, which is already a very problematic area.
Yes. Yeah, interesting you mentioned air conditioning. I was going to ask, can we air condition ourselves out of this situation?
No, we can't. The problem with air conditioning is it causes more problems. So as you use air conditioning to cool down indoor spaces, it kicks heat out into the outdoor spaces. So we experience something called the heat island effect. This could be, sometimes 10, 12 degrees higher than when you don't have air conditioning units that are pumping hot air outside. Not only that, but we also often using fossil fuels to pump the air conditioning and to keep it cool, which therefore then increases the problem with climate change. So that air conditioning is definitely not the solution.
No, and in Italy right now, they're having power blackouts, aren't they? Because everyone is trying to use the air conditioning, understandably, at the same time.
Imagine how we're trying to adapt to electrical vehicles now and electrical heating with air source heat pumps. We're not even thinking we're going to add air conditioning units to that mix, and we can't cope already as it is.
Do you see any hope in some of the new regulations that have come in since we've got a bit more aware of what we're doing? Like, you can't just build a new house now, can you, and have it turn into an absolute furnace?
The problem, the houses are still designed mostly for keeping the heat in, but the new regulations have to take into account overheating. Overheating in buildings is a significant problem, not only because we spend 90% of our time in the buildings, but also because just a small change of temperature could cause you to, for example, have a bad night's sleep. If you have a bad night's sleep, you're less productive the next day. It could cause you to have a heat stroke or sometimes just dehydration, which can be a really serious problem.
And what's the one thing that you would do then? If you've got a house, that isn't really set up for this weather, we've got to do something about it going forward. What's the one thing you'd change?
Well, I would start thinking of the future weathers because this is not going to go away. And to do that, we have to think of strategies much like the Mediterranean strategies. For example, if it's really hot right now and it's hotter than you would like inside, it's time to close your windows, not open them. It's time to put shutters on your houses. And if you don't have shutters, maybe take that pile of cardboard box from your front room and actually block the sun from coming to your house. And it doesn't quite work with just windows and blinds because by then the heat's already in. You need to block the heating before it comes in.
Okay.
And then, of course, ventilate when it's cooler.
Lucelia, thank you very much. Like I said, Professor, I think half our viewers are now reaching for the cardboard boxes and the sellotape.
Good use of them.
Cheers, appreciate it.